everyone wants to talk about this player. And again, I'm going to try my best, but Franco Mastantuono, is that nearly close?
Mastantuono, yeah, very close there. Yeah. Always looks a bit of a mouthful when you first see it, but Mastantuono is the name. And yeah, he's, a wonder kid to put it lightly. He broke into the River first team at the age of 16. Not that you'd know it by the look of him. He definitely looks like he could be, early 20s or something like that. And he's actually been training with the first team since before the age of 16.
Wow.
Was scoring a lot of goals at youth level, getting big rave reviews. And at the start of the year, he got his debut, third youngest debutant at River. So he's in some pretty esteemed company there with the likes of Saviola and others. And he became their first ever, or the youngest ever goal scorer, rather, when he got a goal in the Copa Argentina. So he's someone I've been surprised at how much he's actually played this season. He's had over 30 appearances in the league. He's had some game time in the Libertadores, admittedly, more as a sub, but I think the thing that really, makes him stand out, apart from, those excellent feet, the dribbles, the occasional golazo that he's scored, is that fact that he just doesn't look fazed by any of it. He's just, taking people on, grabbing the game by the scruff of the neck. River haven't always been at their best, in a free-flowing attacking way. And it's mad that a recently turned 17-year-old can be their sort of creative focal point at times. So yeah, he's someone who's straight away, he's that really, really like, well, I don't want to use the word generational talent, but for want of a better turn of phrase, he's one of those guys that you straight away see and you think, okay, this guy, he's got the skill set, he's got the physique, he's got, the battle, but the skills to go with it. That feels like he's just made for European football. So he's someone that everyone's very, very excited about. And if anything's probably eclipsed the excitement that's been around Claudio Echeverri, who's also probably on that same level in terms of, pure talent.
Yeah, and everyone's waiting for Echeverri to see how he'll take to English football, because he's done a deal with City, hasn't he? So he'll be coming over there. I think it is in the summertime or not too far away. I mean, we're looking at the player here, and like you said, there's nothing that looks, when we're seeing these highlights, but we have to be careful, that describes him as 17, like bigger frame than the likes of Soler, Rice. You see, even just from that short clip or from the highlights people have seen, quite strange, almost in a number 10 position. And if you're a number 10 style player from Argentina, that comes with pressure because of history straight away. But almost like a combative nature, prepared to fight, ride challengers in dribbles, things like that. So a real sort of fight to his game. I want to be careful on this, Tom, because this is the one that everyone's pouncing upon, and I'll come to sort of the Liverpool-related link that's sort of doing the rounds at the moment. Descriptions, and this is dangerous as well. I'm reading one report that describes him as a cross between Kaká and De Bruyne. No pressure on the kid at all. Like, is there a player? It might be difficult because of the nature of his style. Anyone you could compare him to at all, would you say?
Yeah, I mean, I think those comparisons are, not the most helpful and not the most accurate. Yeah, I mean, in terms of physique, and position he kind of plays in, then that the Kaká sort of link, I kind of get why people might think about that, but it's hard because he's not your typical Argentinian number 10. I still don't know where his best position will end up being, because he can play all over the place. He's tended to sort of drift into that, slightly right of center pocket in front of the defense is where he sort of tends to operate. But he's got that left foot. He's got a good shot, great dribbling, and even if it's not always the cleanest, he can find a way through somehow. I mean, I think the sort of maybe more contemporary examples that I would sort of say there's something there maybe to compare. You've got Nico Paz, who's just left Real Madrid for Como. I think, again, he's that kind of taller, more elegant number 10, who can do the hard running, because that's another thing that Mastantuono has been very impressive as well. Is his counter pressing, his out of possession work as well is really good for a player in his position and his age.
Yeah.
So I think there's that. I mean, I think someone who might be, there's differences, but someone like Eberechi Eze, I think there's shades of him. Okay, it might not be comparing him with a generational amazing legend like Kaká or Kevin De Bruyne, but I think there's a lot of similarities to the kind of way Eze plays, that mixture of flair and physique, and so I think they're probably more helpful comparisons. Hopefully, I mean, I think he's got the levels to be, a guy we talk about in years to come as one of the best of his age. But there's at that kind of young age, there's always that, a bad injury or a bad move can scupper things. So as much as we're all right to get excited about him because he is already being touted as a potentially world-class player in the future, there's still a lot of areas to work on. I think he shoots a bit too often. His final product isn't there just yet. I think it's just 1 goal and 3 assists in 30 odd games. So the goal he did score was a beautiful free kick from range, so he's definitely capable of it. But I think, as much as he's someone who feels like a move to a massive club is the obvious and only destination for the fee that he'll command, and for the level that he just he's taken every step just with so much ease and maturity, that he feels kind of a bit like Julian Alvarez in that sense. So you're like, this guy's made to play at like a top club in Europe. So I feel like, he is someone who is going to go to a really, really big name. And it would be great to see him in the Premier League with Liverpool.
If he goes on the Alvarez trajectory, and even like say how well he did in the Premier League before he goes for 90 million or whatever it was to Atletico, that is a hell of a trajectory. Now, the big story that everyone's saying, ask him, and I'm asking them now, people. I'm asking Tom, I promise. But the big sort of, say rumour, it's right to say rumour because we're heading towards January, isn't it? So suggestions are that from various sources, he could be making the move, that Liverpool might be interested in triggering his release clause, which works out somewhere around 40 to 50 million pounds, whatever that translates at, and potentially doing it to get in early, leave him at River, like City did with Echeverri, like you said, till to the summer, and then move. We don't know this for definite, but if there was a reality in that, around 40 to 50 million, Tom, leaving him in River for the rest of the season and then the summer, if there is any reality in that, how would that seem as a move for Liverpool for you?
I mean, I think it does make a lot of sense. You're seeing more and more clubs like buy these players before they've turned 18. Chelsea with Esteval, with Kendry Paes, and Mastantuono is in that same bracket. Obviously, he's not achieved what Esteval has this year, but he is, that little bit younger and different context as well. So I feel like he is the type of guy who someone like Liverpool, if they want to get him, they're going to have to go for that, release clause. He's going to have to stay in Argentina until he turns 18 anyway, which would be August. So whether they then leave him there for the rest of the year, a bit like Echeverri has, that's a possibility as well. But I think whereas the other players we've mentioned, you kind of think, okay, one, they can move right now if they want, but the fact that I think Mastantuono is going to have every single club, big club, making offers, trying to get him the deal done before he turns 18. I think it's one of those ones that if you don't act now, you will miss out on him. So he feels like not only someone who could probably come in and contribute and sort of start to sort of come off the bench and get some minutes in the Premier League once he is 18. I think he's also that kind of, again, you're not just buying someone who's going to play straight away. You're also buying, your next future player in that position who with an eye on the future. So there's that kind of long-term planning aspect to him, even though he's someone who could probably come in and start playing first team football straight away as well. So I think there's all those aspects, that would come into it. And yeah, I definitely think that he will be bought before he turns 18.
Sounds crazy, doesn't it? But the talent there just looks absolutely insane, doesn't it? And yeah, it's interesting to sort of break down those profiles, people, a bit more.